How are you doing today, guys? Let's get some first impressions on this zero tolerance 0770 carbon fiber. This is a knife I never had on my radar. Got it in for some quick sharpening work, and it really impressed me. Impressed me enough to have to make a video to tell you guys what I think about it. I believe this is the offshoot of the 0777, I believe. This is the more affordable version, the version that is going to be produced and available. If you didn't know, some of those very limited ZTs went up extremely high. I believe the 888, the 888, at one time was going for like $3,000. That was the very swoopy looking, all titanium, 3D sculpted with the mill lines in it and everything. Very fancy. Anyways, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that this is the 777 just toned down to a normal, everyday EDC knife. And I believe it's shrunk down in size here. What you're getting, they call this a 3.25 inch blade. Very reminiscent of a sheep's foot design here with a little bit of belly. So it's not quite a sheep's foot, but it's very close. I'd say it's a hybrid. So you have a little bit of belly here, comes down, have a little bit more of a nose. Not quite a Warncliffe blade, not quite a drop point, obviously, not quite a sheep's foot. Very nice and hybrid-esque. Kind of like, let's see, the Chris Reeve Insingo, right? So if you like this blade style, I love this with the slight belly and the sheep's foot nose on it. I don't know, I like it a lot. So this clocks in, this is why it was so impressive, at 3 ounces. Yeah, that's crazy. It is a liner lock. Looks like it does have a milled in liner on the display side to encase. Under here is milled out. This is a speed safe knife. So if you're not familiar with how speed safe works, that has like a torsion bar in here, and you have to mill out the handle scale, and it looks like they put the liner inside there to make it all work. And then of course it's a liner lock that is milled out to go into the frame there. Anyways, this is a lightning fast flipper. If you don't mind speed safes, you're gonna love this knife. The action on it. Some people don't. Some people don't. You know, I don't normally go for speed safe knives, but I can see on an application like this, ZT, something more, I guess, towards self-defense, maybe? Man, it's so hard to say. I wouldn't say this is a tactical knife. Of course, zero tolerance, stamped on the side there, might say different. I'm just saying it's probably not pointy enough. It's a liner lock versus a frame lock or a lock back or something like that. A little bit thinner of a blade, you know. Yeah, I guess self-defense. You could definitely shank somebody with this if you wanted to. Is it designed for that? No, I think it's more designed for EDC type stuff. So anyways, just making a note on speed safe because it's usually a love it or hate it. And I'm not quite sure if this is one of the models where you can take the speed safe, the torsion bar out of it, and it has a detent in there. I'm trying to look to see. It does look like it has a detent in it. Certainly does. So if I had to guess, don't quote me, you could take the speed safe out of this guy because there is a detent ball inside there. I can feel it right there when the tang hits it, and I can see it. So there's probably a detent divot on this blade, otherwise that detent ball wouldn't be set in the liner there. which means you can take out the speed safe. Now, how good is flipping action when you take out the speed safe? I don't know. Not going to make any claims on that. But so yeah, this is a very thin blade. Comes in at 3 ounces, all carbon fiber. Has a nice small clip. That's a lowrider. If you don't mind those lowriders, no way to attach a lanyard on this knife. Unless you loop it around this bar. Maybe that's what that bar is there for. Spoke a little too soon. So that tip stays far enough away from you looping a lanyard around that bar. Check out the carbon fiber. This is high grade stuff right here. The backspacer is a little bit dirty with some junk. This is a carried and used knife. I like that backspacer detail. Just some milling on there. No hot spots on it that I can see. And the ergonomics are beautiful. Finger falls right here. Your other 3 fall on the back half. Palm swell comes up enough to hit the palm of your hand, and then dips back down to capture your thumb on the top portion of the blade here. Haven't carried and used this knife, okay? So I'm not going to say it's perfect. But bench testing it here, just looking at it, knowing what I know in my experience, this does not seem to have any hot spots. Very usable design. Let's talk about how much edge length they crammed in to this handle. How they did that. They achieved that by bringing the edge really close to the pivot. I've said that in, I believe, my past few videos. That's very important. If you're looking for as much edge as possible into the handle, in theory, you could damn near get a 50-50 cutting edge ratio to handle. In theory. Especially when you pair it up with a internal stop pin. This does not feature that, but just going by theory. If you get that edge length to come up real close to that pivot when it folds in, right? That's not 50-50. But I think you see what I'm saying here. You can pack the blade into the handle, but still have a large cutting edge versus the handle. Cutting edge almost looks as long as this. Whereas something like, what do I have here to show you? Yeah, there you go. Look how small the cutting edge is versus how much handle you have here. Not good or bad, just saying, look how far that cutting edge comes back from the pivot. Right? That makes sense. So that's that. I like this knife a lot. It does feature the L-Max blade steel. I believe they come in at around $180 for this carbon fiber version. Give or take a few bucks depending on where you get it. Is it worth it? I believe it is if you like what you see here. If you don't dig the design, obviously it's not. But I believe it's well worth it when you look at fit and finish. ZT always does great. When you start to look at some of the spine details there, yeah, it's a pretty nice knife. Got the nice milled out pivot. They also make this in the aluminum handled version, a little bit cheaper, around $130. Of course, your carbon fiber is more of your premium model. You're gonna pay a little bit extra for that. So that's that. The ZT770CF is a liner lock, more geared for an EDC type of blade. Very useful edge shape and blade shape. Very light in the pocket. For the duties at hand, I believe that liner lock is very secure. I get no side-to-side play, no up and down. With the flipper, creates that guard for a finger guard, so you can't slide up onto the blade, right? Flippers are good for that usually. And they're just extremely fun to play with. Pair that up with the speed safe here. Yeah, this is a pretty fun knife to carry and use, I would imagine. I dig the design too, so some people are gonna love it, some people are gonna hate it. That's just how it is. Have a good one, guys. Appreciate you hanging out.